our 11th webinar on diversity and inclusion. It's a very nowadays in topic and rather famous topic for our HR professionals, because organizations after the globalization, organizations are facing such issues that the inclusion has become one of the major challenges for different administrative and HR leaders. Our today's topic we are discussing in the context that a few days back I saw a report published by Quantum Workplace that says that organizations which are managing diversity and inclusion, they are facing a lot more benefits as compared to other organizations. For example, easier recruitment and retention, better employee performance, greater innovation and creativity, and increased profit as well. I was talking about diversity and inclusion. Quantum Workplace has published a report on it, saying that the organization which are observing diversity and inclusion, they are taking a lot of benefit. For example, easier recruitment and retention, better employee performance, and increase in profits as well. ISO has introduced a standard 30415 on how to manage diversity and inclusion at a workplace, including all the stakeholders. In this context, we have three very seasoned HR professionals as speaker with us to talk about in local and Pakistani context on this subject. Also, as usual, our commentator, Mr. Syed Farhan Mahmood and Mr. Khurram Ali Khan, also with us. They will share their experience and comments to add value to our discussions. So let me invite our first speaker, Ms. Alia Zafar. She is Group Head, People and Organizational Excellence, Bank of Punjab. So I was saying earlier that she does not need any introduction, because mashallah she is not only known in Pakistan but also in international forums as well, because she has served in many multinational companies, banking sector, energy, oil and gas, finance, health, technology, also in UN agencies as well. She got HR Professional of the Year 2012 at the Asia Pacific HR Congress, and she is also member of ISO TC 260 on HR terminology working group, and she authored the book HR Directory of Terms. And recently, I must, we have written in her introduction as well, she was appointed as a governor, a member of Board of Governors of PCB, Pakistan Cricket Board. I don't know when she started interest in cricket, because most of the time I saw her in conferences and in professional activities as well. So, and our second speaker is a young, very promising HR professional, Samiya Kamar. I saw her as a fresh graduate a few years back. I'm really pleased to see her growing into a seasoned HR professional. Now she has her own place in international circles as well, because she has worked in multinational with a track record of finding valuable solution to complex organizational needs, especially in matrix business environment. Samiya serves on the lead alumni community advisor board for Stanford. That is a pride for all of us. She is a senior certified professional from Society for Human Resource Management USA. Samiya was officially inducted into the WAW Hall of Fame at the 5th annual WAW Women Appreciating Women Award in 2021. When she will speak, I will ask her to tell us about more WAW. What is this? And the third speaker, is our young and energetic HR professional. In a small span of time, over 7 years, has uh, she has secured a HR leader position in Pakistan. She has been responsible and lead various HR services drives for people development. Sana is an upbeat, determined team leader with excellent communication skills. Presently, she is head of HR, Link International Exchange Company. Before further discussions, may I mention over here, each speaker will talk to us 10 to 12 minutes on the subject uh, from her own experience and knowledge as well. And after that, we have open forum for question and answers from our audience and our commentators as well. So very first, let me request Mohtarma Alia Zafar Sahiba. Please, we are waiting to listen from you. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया and welcome everyone and all the participants. It's always great to interact. I think हमारा एक नया तरीका कार ये बन गया and it has actually helped all of us. I think दो जगहों से दो चीजों को मैं बात करना चाहूंगी. The first one, of course, is the very concept diversity and inclusion and why actually organizations need to even look at, because a lot of times when we look at our organizations, it can also be seen as being politically correct in the new environment. Everybody is trying to inculcate in a good organization where you need to have all employees at the same level. You need to have inclusivity of all kinds. So at the same time, when I talk about it, I would like to talk about the organization that I'm working in, how we actually have been able to create that whole stepwise approach to it. So first of all, obviously, the direction that an organization needs to take is the first step. I'm getting a lot of noise, so maybe somebody is not mute. If you can please check your mics and mute yourself, that will help to reduce the noise. So the first thing is, of course, looking at the overall strategy. What is the strategy of any organization? How do you view your people? So if you're looking at the population of the organization as something which represents, for example, Pakistan. So what is Pakistan comprising of right now? Well, how diverse is Pakistan? Do you have the same kind of diversity in the organization? And if you say yes, then you're going in the right direction. And if you say no, then we are way behind our very baseline that we need to have. So the first aspect is, of course, that our population is 50% females and 50% male. And then we have various ethnicities, we have various provinces, we have various faiths. So when we look at diversity and inclusivity, it essentially has to cover all these areas. I think BOP in this context is also unique in the way we actually present our own value proposition, which encompasses the DNA. The very thought process behind BOP is unique also, because we are not only looking at financial inclusion, we are not only looking at profits, we are not only looking at these aspects which normally everybody would look at, but we are going beyond it. So how are we going beyond it? We are looking at the overall society, community, and the country where we operate as one whole, and we are looking at it from a very responsive station. So what we want to do is we want to have a growth strategy which is inclusive. And that growth strategy being inclusive means that we are looking at the culture, we are looking at the heritage, we are looking at financial inclusion, we are looking at projects which nobody else would pick up, but we would. So for us, diversity goes into each and every component of our work. And that's the external part. And within the internal also, we are looking exactly in the same way. Our tagline is Fard Ka Khayal. So this essentially tells you a lot about how we look at employees, employee wellness, and how we also focus on all these aspects of diversity and inclusion. When we are looking at any model of inclusivity, the workforce behaviors are extremely important. And the second part, which is extremely important, is that of communication, how we communicate with each other, what kind of flow of communication is there from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top, horizontal, vertical. So communication has to be open around these areas and around these issues also. Then we also need to look at where we stand right now, measure it, then see what we are doing, review it and measure it again, and keep going in that dimension. Only then we'll be able to have some kind of structure around diversity and inclusion, because generally when we talk about these things, these are good things to talk about, but when we actually look at the number of, for example, policies that we come up with, we may have nothing. So also, do we actually have a structure in place where somebody is really responsible for it? So within BOP, I think some of the great initiatives that we've taken, first, of course, is having a diversity and inclusion policy, which is approved and applied across the bank. And it incorporates multiple elements to provide a very safe and equal environment also for everyone and all the underrepresented groups. And this actually includes all other underrepresented groups as well. The second part is that of introduction of affirmative action policy. Not a lot of organizations have this, but we have it with a lot of pride, because we really understand that the balance cannot be reached until and unless you actually have policies in place and processes in place which actually provide tools to the employees and to the organization to take the agenda of diversity and inclusion forward. The third element that we have is having a gender and diversity officer in place. Again, why to have that? It's important because that's the person who then becomes responsible focal person for all components and all measurements and all reviews, and seeing that we are taking everything in the right dimension and direction. The fourth component of it is having these embedded into the processes, especially with the key performance indicators. So we do have one of the permanent KPI of gender and diversity across the bank. This essentially means what? It means that every person is responsible for it, not just HR. So when we do that, everyone, because everybody's performance is also one part of that performance, is how they are promoting diversity, how they are promoting inclusivity within the area. So behavior change that I was talking about earlier in terms of concept, this is where we actually bring it into action. Now with this, you do need a lot more of smaller components of tools that we utilize. So I'll give you a few examples. We've had a special promotion cycle for all underrepresented groups. We've had a special approval for finance of scooters for female employees at 0% interest rate. We also have had special recruitment batches for enhancing diversity, and this includes persons with different abilities and batches for females. Then we also conduct very clear one-on-one exit interviews, and this is a two-tier exit interview with any female employee who's planning to leave the organization, and that is to support retention, and we have been very successful in that as well. Then also when we look at the recruitment process, we define the criteria for enhancing female participation. We encourage and we make sure that most of our internal committees have women representation. We look at special sourcing of female candidates for recruitment. So essentially, all these elements come together because we are going beyond the baseline diversity formula normally applied. We are looking at going beyond diversity and inclusion. We are looking at this opportunity to develop our skills to a full potential. So all these diverse elements, we are looking at promoting, appreciating, supporting, building their capacity, and creating a safe and supportive work environment, so that all of these employees are also there, they're happy, they're part of an organization which appreciates diversity and inclusion, they're fairly treated and they're fairly rewarded, and they're recognized for their work. So the focus is on their work, and they have a very meaningful voice on matters that affect all of us. So I think in terms of direction and in terms of the way we look at talent and we look at market competitiveness, we look at our corporate reputation, I think it's a win-win situation in every possible way. And it creates and builds on our value of empathy, which is embedded in our DNA in the bank also, how we look at each other as human beings, first and foremost. So this goes beyond anything else, I think, and this encompasses all these elements. So from the way we see it, I think we have actually been able to look at all the check marks and all the areas, not because we want to be politically correct, but because this is what we believe in. So our DNA actually links very well with this whole concept of looking at gender, looking at diversity, being inclusive across our bank, across the community that we serve in, across the society where we are stationed, and for the country. That's it. Thank you. Can't hear you.
Actually, आप mute है, आप unmute करें अपना mic.
हाँ जी, mute में I think.
Actually, unmute करें अपना mic.
Shilsam, I think your mic is off.
Ji, Assalamualaikum. Are you talking to me?
No, not yet. Yeah. Okay, let's start to you. Alia, you are finished, please. You would like to continue.
Thank you. I think we should.
Thank you very much.
Others also, yeah. I can go on for 2 hours otherwise. Let them speak.
Of course, that's very right. You are very right, and really have summed up very intelligently, right from the strategy to operation, behavior change, talking about tools and incentive scheme, and communication affairs to take it across everywhere. Thank you very much. Please with us. So many people would like to ask you some more questions. Samia, may I request you to please talk about your point of view regarding diversity and inclusion?
Definitely. So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. I must say that it's very generous of you to say that I am still very young, which I take it very happily. But anyway, I don't feel otherwise. Alia Sahiba, thank you so much for the wonderful perspectives that you have shared, and asking me to share mine right after hers. It's like putting a lot of pressure on me, but I'll try to do justice to the audience. I thought that I'll be sharing some of the meanings. I know we all know, and we have been talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's been a long time that whenever we are in such conferences or webinars or any events, so I thought it will be beneficial. So when we talk about diversity, it's about the differences everybody brings within the organization, and that difference can be pertinent to the university that they have graduated from. It can be their previous background from where those people are coming, and it can also be like the diversity of thought, the richness of their behaviors that they have learned otherwise while throughout their brought up and all. When we talk about equity, basically it's the process or the programs or the initiatives that organizations continue to have, and at the same time making possible, to the extent possible, that how we can make it more impartial, how we can make it more just and fair, so that everybody has an equal access as well as possible outcomes as an individual. And when we talk about inclusion, it's about how we can bring people together while they are all different and still contribute to the bigger or better sort of results for the overall organization while being different, contributing positively and ensuring that how they can still be their own selves or authentic selves, and embedding that culture. So whenever we are talking about diversity, it is linked to the culture, the type of culture any organization would want to shape for their people. And as Alia Sahiba mentioned, it totally depends on the mission, vision, as well as the purpose of every organization. And that may vary from one organization to another, from one industry to another, as well as the local or the cultural context that the company is operating in. And I also want to have this disclaimer that these are my thoughts and not associated with S&P Global. Just wanted to sort of call it out. And also some of the other, like I wanted to put an emphasis on the fact that while everybody talks, usually whenever I am having a town hall or meeting, or with like whenever interacting with several people, the idea in Pakistani context becomes that why are we talking about women every time? What is in it for us? If we are talking about inclusion, why are we being excluded? So I thought it will be nice to share some of the data points that we have, because while it is a nice thing or how organizations started operating, it was sort of a buzzword, but then we have like statistics, some key statistics for everybody to understand. And obviously it is not just limited to the women representation. I'll be coming about it and talking about it in a while. So first off, like some of the key statistics, first of all, cognitive diversity can enhance team innovation by up to 20%. Now, the bottom line is that cognitive diversity is important, which means people should be bringing their whole authentic selves, and it is not just limited to the gender diversity. Second is like 48% of employees believe that respect is the most essential factor for a culture of inclusion. That's the second important thing. Third is 61% of employees believe diversity and inclusion strategies are beneficial and they are essential. The fourth important one is that 75% of employees think more diversity is needed. The fifth is 60% of companies have metrics in place to measure the success of their diversity and inclusion efforts. Obviously, what cannot be measured cannot be done. So it is super imperative that companies also invest time to measure whether their efforts are in line with the strategy or not. And is it for me or?
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, okay. And so 67% of job seekers in today's world are putting a lot of emphasis, and they are like, that's one of their decisions, whether to go ahead and apply for a company. If as long as companies are not having those practices, there is reluctance in those people. And that's like these some of the matrices I have taken from the Glassdoor, while others are from DNI research. And as Arshad Sahab very rightly mentioned, that what I have picked from that particular research is that it also pays off in terms of the returns that we or any organization would want to achieve at the end of the day, which is like 4 times larger stock return. So why, first of all, why we all talk about it is that it has a direct, it gets direct results in terms of the profitability. And any organization, whether it's local, whether it's multinational, whether any sort of an organization, at the end of the day works for having that profitability. So that's why, you know, this why is very important. Now, when we talk about it, one of the things that's always sort of, you know, hard. Can you please mute? I get distracted because I totally.
Yeah, you can understand. I'm muting him. I'm muting him.
All right, thanks. So basically what happens is that when we talk about programs, initiatives, they are easy to be implemented. But when it comes about systemic change, or when it comes about the mindset shift of people, that's where a lot of effort is required. Still, there are many people who believe that that's the role of the human resources department. While I don't want to shy away from the fact that obviously we are the ones who are devising, or at least playing our part to devise the broader strategy for the company, but then that said, it cannot be implemented in any of the organizations as long as everybody is not fully sold on the idea of diversity and more so inclusion. We can bring so many people from diverse or different backgrounds, but as long as that environment is not given where they are fully inclusive, where they feel that they can voice their opinions, where they feel that they are respected, none of the organization's agenda will move forward. And I'll give one example. I'm aware of one of the organizations, without naming any organization. They thought that they are going to increase the women representation, and before that they thought it will be important to invest money and have a daycare. Eventually what happened was that for those women, instead of having a daycare, flexible work arrangement was the ask from them. So the idea becomes that how many times organizations are actually investing time to listen to those voices or understand like what's the actual want or need of that particular or underrepresented group that they would want to bring in. So it begins from, there are multiple engagement surveys that are being used by the organization. It also requires a lot of time, a lot of effort to go through all of them. What the individual needs. And those needs can also vary from one gender to another, but usually in Pakistan, since that's the bigger problem, which is the gender diversity, because we stand at 151 out of 153 according to the Women Economic Forum's report. So we should not be shying away from the fact that this is one of it. And then when we talk about our other underrepresented group, which is people from different religions, that stands at 4%. So we should definitely be mindful whether we are providing those programs or we are making sure that they have the right infrastructure, whether we have things available for differently abled people or not. Because majority, it's easy to drive and come up with programs for the majority. It's always difficult. It's always hard to shift that mindset. So also talking about the mindset, there is another organization that they introduced a 5 months parental leave for men as well as women. Now, if any organization is taking that step, it's always important to understand the why behind the policy. Organizations rarely want to shift that mind, but usually people get stuck with regards to the policies. Now, again, since we're talking about inclusion, if the idea or the general perception is that parental leave is only important for women because they go through the maternity leave, and what's the point of giving the same leave to men, then that's where organizations are, while their agenda or statement is that they are including people, this means they are excluding people. So every action counts, everything that we say and we do, that has to be aligned. Leadership should be having the right level of commitment and should be driving it forward. Likewise, usually there is a tendency of people to think that flexible work arrangement is a policy which should be given to working parents. Now, if somebody else is going through altogether a different life cycle, who knows, somebody loves to have a marathon or have an exercise. And if the person feels excluded, that's where it gets difficult, that why those policies are devised in the first place. So the idea is that we talk about mindset shift. It doesn't limit to any one gender. It has to be it has to be considered with a broader mindset that when they are there, then they are applicable to everyone, and we should not be excluding any of the demographics, for the matter that those are our own unconscious biases, how I see. And usually it's, again, like I said, when it comes to mindset shift, it's important to also give them space so that they're talking about problems, how people actually feel. I would love to give one example, which recently we feel extremely proud in terms of having that initiative. So we as human resources team, we connect with women after every quarter, just to understand what's happening, especially because we're all working from home. So the idea was to understand if they need any additional infrastructure or how things are going on otherwise. And it was completely, it went to, or it, like, the direction of the conversation was completely different, where they started talking about the social issues which are happening right now, and we cannot sort of shy away from what is happening these days. So what we actually did was we spoke to our LifeWorks, is basically our employee well-being program. With their support and partnership, we organized a session just yesterday. And while the idea stemmed from that conversation that it's important for women to feel safe, to give them space to voice their opinions, but we did not exclude our men colleagues from that, which meant that the whole session was for the entire population. It was open, and still they have this additional opportunity of setting up one-on-one coaching sessions with this clinical psychologist as well. And she spoke about multiple things, and social issues are not just limited to how or what is happening with women in Pakistan, but then there came like several other themes, such as how people are feeling on account of COVID, how they are struggling with their responsibilities, especially when they're working from home, versus how they have to manage their personal stuff, especially for men, because it's easy for women at their homes to ask them to do home chores, so they are finding it very hard to strike that balance. Thirdly, they also spoke about the recent events on the political front and how that is going to create a perception for Pakistan with the neighboring country. Whatever is happening, don't want to go. It's a sensitive dialogue to sort of hold, but I'm just sharing, like, there were several other themes. And the good thing was that everybody felt that they vented out. So having or giving that space to everyone, because sometimes we only perceive that the challenge might be with one or another. And personally, if you ask me what holds like something that is very, very close to my heart, is that we still feel that there is a lot of avenue for our trans people. We have hardly given them their own right, like, which was announced by the government. I think there is a long way to go. We are not even talking about them. They are not even in our conversations. Women are in our conversations, but the idea is that we are not thinking about them, and they are also a minority group, and it is very, very hard for them to have their own self-identity. And whenever I get to meet with new hires, one more thing I would like to say is that I tell them that, like, in any of the organizations that I've worked so far, I tell them that, welcome, that, and it's very nice that you are part of this company now. But one thing is important, and that is that do not assimilate. Now, it doesn't mean that they should not be abiding by the policies, or they should not get to understand the process, or they should altogether start talking about, like, something else which is not in line with the policy. But the idea is that they should not be losing their own self-identity. Self-identity is what makes us as human beings. And so assimilation, while understanding and being part of a company and abiding by policies, is different, but losing the whole sense just because I cannot talk about my personal stuff, it is not going to be beneficial to the company at the end of the day. Yes, it is a fine line, or it is hard to create that line, how to segregate personal and professional, but then giving room where people can actually talk to their people leaders, where they can talk about their problems, where they can actively discuss what is happening. I think it's very important, because ultimately the culture is shaped by the people leaders. It's not shaped by the human resources department. And as long as there isn't going to be that space provided by those managers to those people, we might not be able, or we might not succeed in our efforts to kind of make a culture which is inclusive for everyone. Now, we know it's hard, but it's not impossible. Having the right mindset, having the right set of people driving that agenda forward together and collectively, all of those are critical and important to be able to achieve. So that's all from my side. I don't know whether I have time or I have taken a lot of time, but yeah, if this serves, and it back to you.
Thank you very much, Samia. You have elaborated the topic in an interesting way, with statistics and demographic realities as well. Specific focus on the gender and family issues open environment. First time I think in any forum the transgender has been mentioned over here. Thank you very much. We want you to please stay with us for question answer session as well. On the chat side, our friends are asking questions with some comments. Sarah, Miss Bilqis, Mr. Ahmad Nadeem, Moniza, they have very good and interesting points as well. But we will discuss as we finish our statement talk phase over here. And I want to thank you, Mr. Saklain from Multan, Ms. Nushaba from USA. They have joined us. Nushaba Fasaba is a seasoned professional and known her work in gender and diversity in development sector in Asian region and in USA as well. We would love to listen her after a while. Thank you very much, Nushaba Saba, for joining us. Now I would request Sana to share her views on today's topic.
Well, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much, Arshad Dr. Sahab. First of all, I really appreciate the two distinguished ladies जिन्होंने अपने opinions और ideas दिए about diversity and inclusion. I really appreciate their ideas and I really second their thoughts. Diversity, actually, it is the central component for every company, for every organization. And it is the very central component and as well it is a basic need. जैसे जैसे हम आगे बढ़ते चले जा रहे हैं, कोविड की वेव चेक कीजिए, कोविड-19 के बाद जो इम्पैक्ट्स आ रहे हैं एम्प्लॉय के वेल बीइंग के ऊपर, उनकी ऑप्शंस के ऊपर, उनकी परफॉर्मेंस के ऊपर, इसमें अगर डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन की हम रेटिंग करें तो इस वक्त इसकी रेटिंग जो है वो हाई जाती है. डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन आपके बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी के साथ अलाइन होना बहुत जरूरी है. जैसे मैडम आलिया जफर ने कहा कि इट शुड स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द स्ट्रैटेजी and strategy should be aligned with the vision and mission of your company according to the need of the business actually. We can start it by two components like हमारा जो HR का लाइफ साइकिल है इंडक्शन का, एक हो गया एग्जिस्टिंग इंडक्शन, एक हो गया न्यू अराइवल्स. तो जो हमारी एग्जिस्टिंग एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, एग्जिस्टिंग हमारा एम्प्लॉय है, उसका हम कल्चरल वैल्यू, उससे हम डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन के ऊपर कैसे वर्कआउट कर सकते हैं. इसके लिए हमें एक सर्वे कंडक्ट करना पड़ता है, डाटा कलेक्ट करना पड़ता है. अगर मैं अपनी कंपनी की एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करूं या मैं अपना पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करूं डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन के ऊपर कैसे काम किया, तो आई जस्ट स्टार्टेड इट फ्रॉम माय ओन एग्जिस्टिंग एम्प्लॉयज. आई कंडक्ट सर्वे by meeting each employee one by one and I ask their concerns related to this company and their lapses, what they want actually, what they feel actually, what's the desire. You know, मेरे employee जो थे छोटे से छोटा, मतलब मैंने इवन छोटे से मुराद ये कि मैंने सिंपल मैं ऑफिसर से भी मैंने कम्युनिकेशन की, मैंने असिस्टेंट मैनेजर से भी कम्युनिकेशन की, मैंने एरिया मैनेजर से भी कम्युनिकेशन की, मैंने उनके चीफ से भी कम्युनिकेशन की, इवन मैंने ऑफिस बॉयज के साथ भी कम्युनिकेशन की. आई सिट विद देम, मैं उनके साथ बैठकर मैंने उनसे पूछा कि व्हाट यू फेस एक्चुअली, व्हाट यू वांट एक्चुअली. तो मुझे बड़ी हैरानगी हुई कि मेरा एक ऑफिस बॉय भी एक एमएनसी लेवल की डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन को अप्रिशिएट करा, मींस कि उसका भी विजन इतना हाई है. सो ही वांट्स कल्चरल चेंज, वो कल्चरल चेंज चाहता है. देन जो सबसे बड़ा मुझे प्रॉब्लम फेस करना पड़ रहा था वो ये आया कि एक तो होता है हमारा एजुकेटेड स्टाफ, मैनेजमेंट स्टाफ, एक होता है अनएजुकेटेड स्टाफ, नॉन मैनेजमेंट स्टाफ. मैनेजमेंट स्टाफ की तो डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन की तरफ मैं अटेंशन समझती हूँ कि होना जो है एक नेचुरल फिनोमेना है, लेकिन नॉन मैनेजमेंट स्टाफ भी अगर ऐसी कोई रिक्वायरमेंट रखता है तो इट मीन्स कि देयर इज सम एनर्जिक थॉट्स एंड वाइब्स एग्जिस्टिंग इन योर कंपनी. सो हाउ टू एक्सेल दैट, इनको एक्सेल कैसे करना पड़ेगा. तो इस चीज़ को जब मैंने फाइनली सबके साथ सर्वे किया, डाटा कलेक्ट किया, then I just summarize this according to the life cycle of human resource. Induction से मैं starting, onboarding से मैंने startup लिया, new employees की hiring तक, और उनके अंदर जिस कंपनी से वो आ रहे थे, जो values लेके आ रहे थे, उसको मैंने चार्ट डाउन किया. हर एक एम्प्लॉय के इंटरव्यू में मैंने एक स्पेसिफिक फॉर्म जो था वो डिजाइन किया और उसकी इंडिविजुअल आइडेंटिटीज को मैंने उसमें जो था वो मेंशन किया. एंड आफ्टर हिज और हर इंडक्शन میں نے ایک پلیٹ فارم جو تھا وہ انٹروڈیوس کرایا اپنی کمپنی میں. وٹ آئی ریئلائز اٹ شوڈ بی دیئر. دس از اے ویری سمپل وے کہ جس سے ہم میکسیمم لیول تک جو ہے وہ ریزلٹ گین کر سکتے تھے. ایک میں نے فورم جو تھا وہ کریٹ کیا اور دین اس فورم کو میں نے لرننگ اینڈ ڈیولپمنٹ میں جا کے مرج کروا دیا, جس میں نے پوائنٹ سارے کلیکٹ کیے. جو کامن پوائنٹس تھے, کچھ ہمارے ابراڈ سے آئے جو امپلائیز تھے, کچھ ہمارے پاکستانی تھے, کچھ ڈفرینٹ کمپنی سے, کوئی MNC سے آیا ہوا تھا, کوئی لوکل کمپنی سے آیا ہوا تھا. ابھی ایک کوشچن بھی آیا, میں نے دیکھا ہے چیٹ باکس میں, اس کے اوپر بھی یہ کوشچن کیا گیا کہ ڈفرینٹ مائنڈ سیٹ کے پیپلس کو آپ ڈائیورسٹی اینڈ انکلوژن میں ایک سنگل الائنمنٹ میں کیسے لا سکتے ہیں. تو انشاءاللہ آفٹر مائی ڈسکشن یا آفٹر مائی دس لیکچر میں اس کوشچن کو آنسر کرنا چاہوں گی, کیونکہ میں نے اسے پریکٹیکلی فیس کیا. لرننگ اینڈ ڈیولپمنٹ میں جا کے میں نے یہ ساری کی ساری چارٹ ڈاؤن کی چیزیں, اور جو پوائنٹس مجھے نظر آئے کہ یہ چیزیں جو ہیں یہ لیڈنگ پوائنٹس کی طرف جائیں گی اور میکسیمم کنٹریبیوشن دے سکتی ہیں, اس کے اوپر ہم نے ٹریننگز جو تھی وہ اسٹارٹ اپ کر دی. سیکنڈلی, اگر ہم ڈسکریمنیشن کی بات کریں یا جینڈر کی بات کریں, فیمیل کا کنٹریبیوشن دیکھیں, تو نو ڈاؤٹ جیسے میں سبھی سامیہ نے ذکر کیا, میڈم عالیہ نے ذکر کیا اس چیز کا, اور ابھی میڈم سامیہ نے بتایا کہ ٹرانس سیکشن, تو اس کے اوپر رائٹ ناؤ وی آر آلسو ورکنگ. ہماری مینجمنٹ بہت زیادہ انٹرسٹیڈ تھی کہ ہم ٹرانس جینڈر کو بھی جو ہے وہ ان کریں اپنی کمپنی میں, اور پورے آنر کے ساتھ کریں. آل دو گورنمنٹ لیول پہ اس پہ کس لیول کا کام چل رہا ہے, وی جسٹ ڈونٹ کیئر اباؤٹ اٹ, بٹ وی ہیو ٹو گیو آور اون کنٹریبیوشن. ڈائیورسٹی اینڈ انکلوژن صرف ایک آرگنائزیشن کی حد تک بات نہیں رہ گئی ہے, دس از بیسیکلی آر سوشل کنٹریبیوشن ایز پر مائی اوپینین. یہ ایک ہمارا سوشل کنٹریبیوشن بھی ہے جو ہم آرگنائزیشن میں رہ کے اپنی آرگنائزیشن کے لیے تو کرتے ہی ہیں, لیکن اس کے ساتھ ساتھ ہم اپنے ہر ایک امپلائی کو ٹیچ کر رہے ہیں. ہم انہیں سکھا رہے ہیں کہ آپ نے ڈفرینٹ مائنڈ سیٹ کے ساتھ سروائیو کیسے کرنا ہے, کون سے ویلیوز ایسے ہیں جو آپ نے آپٹ کرنے ہیں, کون سے ویلیوز ایسی ہیں جو آپ نے ایلیمنیٹ کرنی ہے. سو دس از ہاؤ وی ہیو ٹو ورک اپاؤٹ اٹ. ویل, تھینک یو سو مچ ارشد ڈاکٹر صاحب. And finally, I just want to conclude with this line: we have to start it with the strategy, then we have to measure it, then we have to calculate the outcome. And outcomes will only be we can find out by doing the strict measures and validation setting the values and generating the reports biannually, annually, and three months, then 6 months, and in a year. Calculate and find out the results. کہ آپ نے جو اسٹریٹجی اسٹارٹ کروائی تھی اس کی امپلیمنٹیشن کس حد تک ہوئی, اس کی جو میئر ہے, جیسے میڈم عالیہ نے بتایا کہ KPIs کے اوپر جا کے ہم فائنڈ آؤٹ کرنا چاہیے. ڈیفینیٹلی اگر ہمیں اس چیز کو امپلیمنٹ کرنا ہے, میئر کرنا چاہیے. آپ کو 3 months 6 months یو ہیو ٹو فائنڈ آؤٹ کہ کس حد تک کلچرل چینج آیا, امپلائی نے کس حد تک اڈاپٹیبلٹی دکھائی, انیشلائزیشن کیسے ہوئی, رسپانس کیا تھا, رف تھا, ویلکمنگ تھا, کیا. یہ ساری کی ساری چیزیں جب تک ہم جاٹ ڈاؤن نہیں کریں گے, اس کو ویلیویٹ نہیں کریں گے ٹرو میئرس کے اوپر, جس سے ڈیٹا کلیکٹ کرنا. اور اگر ہم پرسنلی اس میں خود انٹرسٹ لیتے ہیں رادر دین دیٹ کہ اگر ایک لیڈر, ایک سینئر پرسن خود ڈیٹا کلیکٹ کرے, خود پرسنلی سروے کرے, تو اس کے ریزلٹس جو ہیں وہ بہت اچھے آتے ہیں, ادر دین دیٹ کہ آپ جونیئر اسٹاف کو اس میں انگیج کریں. ویل, تھینک یو سر.
Thank you very much, Sana. You have given us another perspective that just implementation is not enough unless we have a survey, we evaluate our efforts, and then draw the conclusion. Where do we stand? Thank you very much. With this, we are open for questions, and commentators are with us, Mr. Khurram and Mr. Syed Farhan Sahab. Would you please like to add something?
Thank you, Akif. I think very nice perspectives from the three of the persons who joined us. I think I'd like to add 2 points. One, I think in inclusion, differently enabled population in our country should be part of our policies in recruitment or keeping them. All these initiatives, one perspective is to lead to productivity and performance enhancement of the organizations. In absence of a measure that are these things giving value proposition to the organization, I think the long-term sustainability of all such initiatives might not come. being into HR myself and all of us mostly from an HR background, I still need to see even performance management system in Pakistan being treated as a document or as a process which leads to year by year productivity enhancement of an organization, right? So I think there's a challenge. Luckily, I think with COVID, a lot of new perspective has come along. The sense of agility to change, I still want to know, I think that we are still exploring when we'll go back to our offices. We are exploring a parental leave, maternity leave. Why aren't we exploring that every day is a day of leave? We'll work from home and the productivity of the organization would still continue. We will save thousands of mileage of traveling. We'll be able to employ thousands of those women which are not able to come to physical office, right? And it would be an open opportunity. So even in diversity and inclusion, if we really explore a little sense of agility and change in a country like Pakistan, we can employ thousands of people. I'll just give you an example of a normal office receptionist, the PABX lady. In a lot of offices, there are 0 walk-in customers, right? That lady only transfers that call to other people. Is this job require a physical presence at a workplace or can be done from home just using the technology? So I would say, in essence, we as HR professionals should definitely try to link all these great initiatives with the productivity of the organization for a long-term sustainability of these good global initiatives adopted in our Pakistani culture. Thank you.
Here I like to just add
optimum utilization. ठीक है, आप करम साहब.
Yeah, actually, मैं entrepreneurial point of view से बात करता हूँ कि right now at the moment हम बात करते हैं diversity की. Diversity is big, like, you know, it's not only about gender, it's about orientation, background, sexual orientation, national origin, and all these things. Point is, if you want to attain and retain talent, you have to have a diversified organization, diversified team. जहाँ तक बात है inclusion की, there is no other way. You have to create a common language. You have to create an atmosphere where everyone is comfortable to work. आपने अगर output लेना है, आप HR head हैं या आप finance head हैं या आप CEO हैं या आप entrepreneur हैं, आपका अपनी company है. You have to understand that you have to create inclusion in both. डाइवर्सिफाइड टीम आपके लिए फायदा है, खासतौर पे जब कोविड जैसे आते हैं. डाइवर्सिफाइड टीम होगी तो ही आप अपने, जैसे भी फरहान ने बात की, टेक्नोलॉजी के इस्तेमाल से बड़ी चीजें हो सकती हैं. यू डोंट नीड टू बी फिजिकली अवेलेबल. अभी तक हम पुराने उसमें हैं कि लोगों ने 9 से 5 आके बैठना है, उसमें कुछ ना करें, हालांकि वो घर बैठ के मे भी ज्यादा काम कर सके या रिमोटली कर सके. अगर एक दिन कुछ काम है तो डोंट नीड टू टेक अ लीव. अगर वो अपना लैपटॉप साथ ले जाए, लैपटॉप के पास हर वक्त होता है. डाइवर्सिफाइड टीम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इंक्लूजन वर्क, यू हैव टू क्रिएट एन एटमॉस्फेयर. आपको चाहे वो आप पोल करवाएं, चाहे आप करें, एंटरप्रेन्योर, अगर आप उस कॉमन लैंग्वेज को में कामयाब हो जाते हैं और आप एक डाइवर्सिफाइड टीम सेट कर सकते हैं, तभी आपको फायदा होगा. क्यों? एक बहुत बड़े उसके पुर्जे होते हैं, आप यूज कर सकते हैं. अगर आपके पास एक ही जैसे लोग होंगे, जब डेडलॉक आएगा आप फ्लैट हो जाएंगे. नीड और उसमें बहुत चीजें हैं, रिलीजन है, फिरके हैं, रेस है. आप एक ऐसी टीम पैदा करें जो अवेलेबल हो. जो ऑफिस में 24/7 वर्क होता है, उसमें आपको ऐसे लोग चाहिए होते हैं जो आपको मल्टी रिलीजन हो. कोई किसी वक्त अवेलेबल होगा, कोई किसी वक्त अवेलेबल होगा. कोई ऐसा है जो दिन में एक्टिव होता है, कोई रात को एक्टिव होता है. अगर आपके नेचर ऑफ वर्क के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. तो यू नीड, इट्स की, if you want to attain and then retain the talent in the diversified team, and inclusion in workplace is a must. ऑलरेडी बहुत ज्यादा इस पे बात हो चुकी है. मेरे ख्याल में क्वेश्चन आंसर्स पे चले जाते हैं, इसलिए काफी क्वेश्चन आए. दिस इज माय पॉइंट कि देयर इज नो अदर वे अनलेस आपको अगर अपनी चीजों को करना है. और खाली मैनेजमेंट, अभी मैं देख रहा था, कह रहे जी वो एचआर हेड को भी नौकरी की परवाह होगी, बॉस नहीं मानेगा. नो, एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर इट्स अ मस्ट. کو نہیں ہوتا. اگر آپ اپنی جو بھی بورڈ میں بیٹھے ہیں, جو اونر بیٹھا ہوتا ہے, انویسٹر بیٹھا ہوتا ہے, اس کے پیسہ بہت امپورٹنٹ ہوتا ہے اس کے لیے. تو ضروری ہے کہ اس کو پراپرلی سمجھائیں. اس سے کوئی بیک آؤٹ کر ہی نہیں سکتا کہ ڈائیورسفائڈ ٹیم انکلوژن ورک کے بغیر آپ آئیڈیل رزلٹ نہیں لے سکتے.
تھینک یو خرم صاحب. میں اسپیکر سے ریکویسٹ کروں گا کہ ذرا پلیز بی اٹینٹیو, دیر آر سو مینی کویشچنز. ان کویشچنز کو دیکھتے ہوئے اگر آپ مجھے اجازت دیں تو دو باتیں, 2 points آئی ووڈ لائک ٹو ایڈ اوور ہیئر, اینڈ اسپیشلی آئی ووڈ ریکویسٹ عالیہ صاحبہ ٹو رسپونڈ دس. ISO 260 کمیٹی نے جو اسٹینڈرڈ بنایا ہے 30415, دیٹ ڈیفائن دی ڈائیورسٹی, جو ہمارے بہت سارے سوالوں کو ایڈریس کرتا ہے. واٹ از ڈائیورسٹی؟ اٹ از کریکٹرسٹکس آف ڈفرینسز اینڈ سملیرٹیز. Characteristics of differences and similarities between people, and these differences and similarities are the factors that influence identities and perspectives that people bring when interacting at the workplace. So it means the diversity is not just the gender issue, it is more than that. All the differences and all the similarities that could affect our identity and perspective. And how to include? Inclusion, it's a practice of including all stakeholders in organizational contexts, including all the stakeholders, maybe employees, suppliers, the prospective customers, board, investors, or everybody. And when we include all these, it must be being accepted, welcomed, and able to have voice and having opportunities for development. So do you think کہ جو ہماری ڈسکشن کے پیرامیٹرز ہیں, they need more inclusive and broader perspective to address the diversity and inclusion? Alia, I request you to start, please.
Thank you. Thank you for this. And it's interesting because I think when I touched upon this whole concept, I was very clear on the fact that it is not only about gender. And diversity is
Right.
never only about gender. لیکن اس کے کون کون سے ڈائمینشنز آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں اور کون کون سے ڈائمینشنز آپ کو سمجھ آ رہے ہیں ایز این آرگنائزیشن اینڈ ایز HR also is extremely important. So for example, diversity of thought. How much diversity of thought is actually appreciated in an organization or even considered? And now diversity in age and diversity in viewpoints. Diversity in terms of how we are looking at then other elements, of course, ethnicities, where to badi baseline hai. But there are so many forms and aspects of diversity that you cannot stop at one place. And unfortunately, within our organizations, a lot of the challenges that we see are centered around lack of diversity, lack of acceptance of another person's similarities or dissimilarities. So every person cannot be a mirror of you, and that's not what anyone should actually expect from anyone else. Wherever there is any difference, and wherever the difference is something that we do not understand, it tends to bring out an aggressive part of our nature, or we respond in a way that we push it back. So essentially, there are two elements working here. The element of ego comes in at all times within all human beings. That element of ego combined with where you stand within the organization tends to create barriers to having any kind of diversity appreciated. Now, if we look at the very baseline of how we want to approach it, so the approach has to be from a place of empathy. And if you don't have that, the baseline you will not have. So it's a must to actually see people as they are and to be able to empathize with their situation, and also be very conscious of the baseline etiquette around approaching diversity of any kind. So if a very young junior person in my team is giving an idea and nobody is listening, or if a female is sitting in a meeting and she's cut short, she's speaking and somebody sort of gets into the conversation, or her idea is picked by somebody else and she's not acknowledged for it and somebody else is acknowledged for it, or you have third gender working with you and they are bullied, or they are not given enough of an enabling environment, including, for example, even as simple as a washroom. So you need to look at it from various angles, various perspectives. So everyone in the organization needs to first start from that place of empathy and then go beyond that. So from place of empathy, when you start, you look at the other person as a human being who is equal to you, not low somehow from you in any way. So that is the baseline problem that I think we have in our society also, and it sort of seeps into the organizations also. And that's what we need to fight against. So I think certainly it's the diversity aspect and the inclusion aspect goes much, much beyond gender only.
Very right. Thank you very much for enlightening us. Samia, would you like to elaborate further?
Beautifully said. I mean, this is amazing. इसके बाद मेरे पास अल्फाज तो इतने नहीं होंगे, but I'll still try. So basically, from my point of view, like I said earlier as well, कि ये किसी एक की responsibility नहीं है. We cannot make it happen. और जो आलिया साहिबा ने examples दी हैं, ये बिल्कुल spot on है. I think the element of respect has to be there, regardless of who we are or who other individuals are, regardless of what differences everybody has. And that said, I think there is a lot of avenue for educating people. So if the responsibility is given to the Human Resources Department and if we are representing the department, then I think the education has to be there. And it's not that, no, again, we don't want to segregate or we don't want to create any differences, but collectively we can learn certain things from those leaders, because eventually everybody is shaping that culture together. And there are times when we should be questioning our own self or unconscious biases as well. जैसे कि organizations में अक्सर कहा जाता है कि we need a cultural fit. I think this happens in many, many organizations, especially coming from the Human Resources Department. We need a cultural fit. We need a cultural fit. I think this mindset also has to change by challenging what does it mean when we say cultural fit, because the idea in itself is excluding people. And it means that we are rejecting a certain maybe it can be a representation or maybe it can be otherwise. It gives a reason or a rationale to reject people. So first of all, we have to thoughtfully think on or agreeing on what does the quality of hire mean? Does it really mean to hire people from a certain university? Does it really mean to hire people, and why? At the end of the day, every job description may it be in any company is completely different. So how the competencies are contributing to that job description, what the skill set is, like what type of the skill set the individual is holding, this should be the mindset of not only the HR, but also of the leaders as well. And maybe we have to exclude certain things which have been super important in the past, such as maybe the university or degree. Totally, the focus should shift from skills instead of qualification. That's how I see. And then also providing those platforms. Again, building on to what Alia Sahiba said, very small things such as whether we have, there are times when organizations have stairs. Are we thinking about differently abled people? Do we have?
Thank you very much. بہت شکریہ سمیہ، آپ نے بہت اچھے انداز میں بات کی ہے. ہمارے پاس نشابہ ظفر صاحبہ ہیں جنہوں نے یو ایس اے، یورپ اور ایشیا تینوں جگہوں پہ اس سبجیکٹ کے اوپر بہت سے آرگنائزیشن کے ساتھ کام کیا. آپ کچھ اپنا ایکسپیرینس وڈ یو لائک ٹو شیئر ود اس نشابہ؟
السلام علیکم.
وعلیکم
اچھا
السلام.
صاحب بہت شکریہ. بہت اچھے طریقے سے پریزنٹرز نے مختلف آسپیکٹس کو شیئر کیا ہے اور میں اس سے ایگری کرتی ہوں، لیکن میں صرف ایک پوائنٹ چھوٹا سا شیئر کرنا چاہوں گی سب لوگوں کے ساتھ کہ میں نے جب اتنے ملکوں میں کام کر کے میں نے یہ دیکھا ہے کہ صرف پاکستان میں ایک ایسا آسپیکٹ ہے تنوع اور مساوات اور شمولیت کا، ڈائیورسٹی، ایکولیٹی اینڈ انکلوژن کا، لینگویج. ہمارے ہاں یہ بہت بڑا ایشو ہے اور یہ بہت متاثر کرتا ہے شمولیت کے آسپیکٹ کو، اور خاص طور پہ نیشنل لینگویج اور جو ہماری علاقائی زبانیں ہیں ان کے درمیان اور انگلش کے درمیان. تو میرا صرف ایک ہی یہاں پہ پوائنٹ ہے شیئر کرنے کے لیے کہ ہمیں کوشش کرنی چاہیے کہ ہم جتنا بھی ہو سکے، اگر ہم اس کو یقینی بنانا چاہتے ہیں کہ سب لوگ بات کر سکیں، سب لوگ اس میں اپنا پوائنٹ آف ویو شیئر کر سکیں، تو ہمیں یا تو ٹرانسلیشنز کے ساتھ چلنا چاہیے، جیسا کہ میں نے دیکھا. اور مجھے اس بات پہ بہت کمی محسوس ہوئی کہ ہمارے ہاں پاکستان میں ٹرانسلیشن کے ساتھ نہیں چلتی گفتگو، کوئی بھی گفتگو، جیسا کہ آج کی گفتگو. تو ہمیں جب تک اگر ہم یہ محسوس کرتے ہیں کہ کچھ ایسے لوگ ہیں جو اردو نہیں سمجھ سکتے، تو ہم اس کے لیے ٹرانسلیشن کا بندوبست کریں. اور اگر جب ہم سب اردو سمجھ سکتے ہیں اور بول سکتے ہیں تو ہمیں اسی میں ہی اپنی گفتگو کو آگے بڑھانا چاہیے، کیونکہ بہت سارے لوگوں کے پاس بات کرنے کے لیے بہت کچھ ہوتا ہے، وہ کہنا چاہتے ہیں، لیکن یہ ایک ایسا بیریئر ہے جس کو ہم کراس نہیں کر سکتے. ایک تو یہ بات. دوسری بات یہ کہ ایک پریزنٹر نے ابھی کہا اور میں اسے ایگری کرتی ہوں کہ ہمیں اسٹریٹجک لیول پہ اس کو شروع کرنا چاہیے بات کو، کسی بھی آرگنائزیشن کے لیے، چاہے وہ ڈیولپمنٹ سیکٹر ہو یا کارپوریٹ سیکٹر ہو. میں یہ سمجھتی ہوں کہ سب سے پہلے ہمیں کچھ ایکشن رائٹ اوے کر دینے چاہیے، جیسا کہ مینشن بھی کیا ہے انہوں نے کہ ہمیں ڈے کیئر بنانا ہے، یا ہمیں ایسی اسٹرکچر میں ایسی تبدیلیاں لانی ہے تاکہ ایسے لوگ جو ڈفرینٹلی ایبل ہیں اور وہ ایکسیس ان کی ہم یقینی بنائیں. تو پہلے کچھ ایکشنز کریں اور پھر اس کے بعد پالیسیز اور اسٹریٹجیز بنائیں، کیونکہ جب ہم اسٹریٹجیز اور پالیسیز پہ بات لے جاتے ہیں تو پھر ایکشنیبل اور ڈویبل جو چیزیں ہیں جو رائٹ اوے متاثر کرتی ہیں آرگنائزیشن کے ماحول کو، وہ ڈیلے ہو جاتی ہیں. تو یہ دو پوائنٹ ہیں میرے. باقی یہ ہے کہ بہت اچھی گفتگو کی ہے پریزنٹرز نے بھی، اور میں کامنٹس بھی دیکھ رہی تھی سب ساتھیوں کے. اس کا مطلب ہے کہ ہم بہت اچھے طریقے سے صحیح سمت کی طرف روانہ ہو رہے ہیں. بہت شکریہ ارشد صاحب.
تھینک یو ویری مچ نشابہ صاحبہ. آپ نے مجھے تھوڑا کنفیوز بھی کر دیا ہے کہ میں اردو بولوں کہ انگریزی، بٹ تھینک یو ویری مچ اگین. اور بہت شکریہ، آپ نے دونوں پوائنٹ بہت ہم کہیں کہ اوپن کمیونیکیشن اینڈ کامنلی یوزڈ لینگویج، دس از ویری امپورٹنٹ، اور ایکشن ہو. بہت شکریہ. ہمارے ساتھ فاروق رنداوا صاحب اور سکلین صاحب بھی ہیں. تو فرینڈ وڈ یو لائک ٹو شیئر یور تھاٹ سو وی could proceed to our conclusion?
تھینک یو سو مچ ارشد صاحب. آپ لوگ جس طرح اے ایس کے اس فورم کو یوز کر رہے ہیں، اور اسپیشلی اس کووڈ کے درمیان، تو یہ ایک بلیسنگ ہے. اور آج کے اسپیکر جو لائک میں جانتا ہوں سمیہ قمر کو بھی اور ثنا کو بھی، اور میم عالیہ کے بہت سارے لیکچر میں سن چکا ہوں. یہ ریئل میں ہمارے وہ لوگ ہیں جو ان چیزوں کو سمجھتے ہیں، اور ہمارے لیے آنر کی بات ہے. میرا صرف ایک کمنٹ ہے کہ جب پبلک سیکٹر آرگنائزیشنز ہیں، ٹھیک ہے، تو وہاں پر یہ ڈائیورسٹی اینڈ انکلوژن کی جب ہم بات کرتے ہیں تو وہ لوگ ہنس کے ٹال دیتے ہیں. وہ کہتے ہیں کہ جی آپ لوگوں کو کیا اندازہ، کارپوریٹ والے بیٹھ کے پبلک سیکٹر کی باتیں شاید وہ نہیں کر سکتے، دے آر ناٹ ایکسپیرینس ان دیٹ. تو میں میم عالیہ سے یہ جاننا چاہوں گا کہ اگر کوئی پبلک سیکٹر آرگنائزیشن کو ہم نے ان ڈائیورسٹی اینڈ انکلوژن کی طرف لے کے آنا ہے، اور ناٹ اونلی دی جینڈر ڈائیورسٹی کی بات کریں تو اس کو کیسے گورنمنٹ لیول پہ کیسے لایا جا سکتا ہے اور کس طریقے ان لوگوں کو ریئلائز کروایا جا سکتا ہے کہ آپ لوگوں کے لیے بینیفیشل ہوگا. باقی ونس اگین تھینک یو ویری مچ ٹو آل اسپیکرز, ارشد صاحب آپ کا, آپ کی ٹیم کا, فرحان صاحب کا بھی, اور ہمارے محترم ASK کے جو باقی ساتھی ہیں, سب لوگوں کا بہت شکریہ کہ اتنا اچھا سیشن آپ لوگوں نے ارینج کیا. تھینک یو سر.
تھینک یو جی. میرے خیال میں کہیں پہ بھی کسی بھی آرگنائزیشن میں ویدر گورنمنٹ کی ہو یا نان گورنمنٹ ہو, ایک جو مین فیچر ہوتا ہے جو کہ ان چیزوں کو آگے لے کے جا سکتا ہے, دیٹ از دا انٹینٹ. سو آپ کی اگر انٹینشن ہے تو آپ اگر باقی پورا گورنمنٹ کو تو آپ چینج نہیں کر سکتے آف کورس, اور لیکن جو جس ایریا میں آپ بیٹھے ہیں, جس ڈویژن میں آپ بیٹھے ہیں, جس منسٹری میں آپ بیٹھے ہیں, وہاں پہ آپ چینج لا سکتے ہیں. When I've worked in FPR for 12 years as a civil servant, so I can tell you, and then you look at, for example, motorway police, which is again a government organization. There are a number of areas within the government جو کہ بڑا کلیئرلی آپ کو ایک ایکسلنس شو کرتے ہیں ان کے بیہیویئر میں, ان کے کمپٹنسیز میں, اور ان کے ورک کلچر میں بھی. سو یہ ڈپینڈ کرتا ہے کہ آپ ایز این آرگنائزیشن آپ نے اس یونٹ کو دیکھنا ہے, جس یونٹ میں آپ اس وقت ہیں, وہ پرٹیکولر ڈویژن جو ہے اس کو دیکھنا ہے. آپ نے اوور آل سارے کو بے شک نہ دیکھیں, لیکن آپ اس جو جس جگہ پہ آپ کا انفلوئنس ہے, اس انفلوئنس کو آپ استعمال کر کے وہاں پہ اسٹرکچر کر سکتے ہیں چیزیں. جو وہاں پہ اسینشلی جس وقت آپ نے اپلائی کرنا ہے کسی بھی پروسیس کو, تو وہ تو وہاں پہ اپلیکیشن آسان ہو جاتی ہے. وہاں پہ آپ نے سینسٹائزیشن اگر کرنی ہے تو لوگوں کے ساتھ سینسٹائزیشن آسان ہو جاتی ہے, بیکاز اٹس اے اسمالر گروپ. سو اگر ہر کوئی اپنے اسمالر گروپ میں بھی یہ کرنا شروع ہو جائے, اور صرف آپ ویکلی بیٹھ کے بات کر لیں چائے پہ, اس بات کے کرنے سے ہی کئی دفعہ بہت سی چیزیں کلیئر ہونا شروع ہو جاتی ہیں. سو اٹس ویری امپورٹنٹ ٹو ہیو دیز کانورسیشنز. فرسٹ اینڈ فارموسٹ ہمارے لیے یہ چیزیں کانورسیشن کا کبھی حصہ ہی نہیں رہی. سو جب آپ اکٹھے بیٹھے ہیں, دوست بیٹھے ہیں, آپ کے کولیگز بیٹھے ہیں, تو وہاں سے آپ اسٹارٹ کر سکتے ہیں. ڈو یو تھنک وی شوڈ بی thinking about it, or can we do something about it in your own smaller circle wherever you may be working, or if it's a bigger segment over there, if you have even a little bit of power, if you are leading 2 people, you are an influencer, you can influence those 2 people. So you have to start from one place or the other. You cannot think کہ ہم نے اتنے بڑے کو پہلے ٹھیک کرنا ہے اور پھر ہم چھوٹے پہ آئیں گے. It doesn't work like that, especially in organizations which are humongous by their very nature, and they're also diversified completely in the way they function also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Very well presented by Ma'am Alia Sahiba. جو especially انہوں نے small group کی بات کی کہ we can start it from the small group. ویکینڈ کے اوپر اگر ہم اسمال گروپس کے ساتھ بھی اسٹارٹ کر سکتے ہیں تو ڈیفینیٹلی اٹ ول بی دا فریکوینٹ کنورسیشن, فریکوینٹ ڈسکشن, جو کہ بہت ایزی لیول پہ, بہت فرینڈلی لیول پہ اسٹارٹ ہو سکتی ہے, اور یہ ڈیفینیٹلی اٹ ول گیو اس دا چینج اینڈ ریزلٹس ایز ویل, اینڈ ڈیفینیٹلی وی ول ڈریگ آؤٹ دا آؤٹکمز آف دس اسمال گروپ میٹنگ. سو تھینک یو سو مچ.
تھینک یو. جہاں چیٹ میں ہیں
ارشد عاقب صاحب, ایکچولی ہم لوگوں کو جو بیسیکلی پرابلمس فیس کرنے پڑ رہے ہیں نا اپنی آرگنائزیشن میں, میرا کوئی اتنا زیادہ وائڈر ایکسپوجر تو نہیں جیسے میڈم عالیہ صاحبہ ہو گئی, میڈم سامیہ, بٹ آئی مسٹ سے وٹ آئی ریئلائز کہ ہمیں اس کا اسٹارٹ اپ جو ہے وہ انیشیلی ہی لینا پڑے گا, اسمال گروپ سے ہی لینا پڑے گا. جیسے سکلین صاحب نے کہا کہ جب ہم بات کرتے ہیں کسی سے بھی تو وہ کہتے ہیں کہ یہ آپ کیا بات کر رہے ہیں, تو اٹ ہیپن, ایسا ہوتا ہے. یہ ہمیں پریکٹیکلی ٹیکنیکلی چیزیں جو ہیں وہ فیس کرنی پڑیں گی. ٹھیک ہے, ہم کسی بہت اچھے ٹاپک کے اوپر کانورسیشن کر لیتے ہیں, ایک دوسرے کے ساتھ بات کر لیتے ہیں, تو اٹ مینس دیٹ از گڈ, کلیپنگ. بٹ وین وی آر ٹوورڈس اٹس امپلیمنٹیشن, اٹس ایگزیکیوشن, تو اس طرح سے آپ کو رسپانس جو ہے وہ پازیٹیو فیس نہیں کرنا پڑتا. ایک تو یہ کہ جب بھی آپ ڈائیورسٹی اینڈ انکلوژن کی بات کرتے ہیں, ابھی آپ نے میڈم عالیہ صاحبہ سے بھی کوشچن کیا کہ یہ ڈائیورسٹی جو ہے یہ ٹرم کیا ایک دو چیزوں پہ میٹر کرتی ہے. اٹس بیسیکلی اے ویری وائڈر اینڈ ویری براڈر ٹرم. ڈائیورسٹی جو ہے اٹ مینس کہ آئیڈینٹی آف ڈفرنٹ پیپل, ڈفرنٹ انڈیویژل پیپل. ایوری انڈیویژل پیپل از responsible for the change, cultural change, and for their it depends on their skill set, how they bring it to your organization, and it transfers to the another employee. So हर employee इसके लिए equally responsible है, और हर employee के अंदर अब कौन सी identities particularly हैं, unique हैं, उन्हें हम drag out कर सकते हैं. अब इस चीज़ को identify करना जो है वो हमारा काम है, like leaders का काम है, boss का काम है, जो मेन HOD है उसका काम है कि वो अपने एम्प्लॉयज में उसकी यूनिकनेस को आइडेंटिफाई करे, तो फिर उसके ऊपर कोई प्लान स्ट्रैटेजी बनाए जो कि उसके इनिशिएटिव को लेते हुए कि वो किस तरह से अपने इस एम्प्लॉय की आइडेंटिटी जो यूनिक है उसको कॉमन कर सकता है बाकी अपने एम्प्लॉयज में. हाउ वी कैन ट्रांसफर द आइडेंटिटीज टू ईच अदर टू मेक देम यूनिक एंड मेक देम एक्सेलिंग कल्चर ऑफ योर कंपनी. Well, over to you, Akif sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for adding value to the discussion. फारूक साहब, आप अपना पर्सपेक्टिव बात करना चाहेंगे? अच्छा, फारूक साहब हमें नहीं सुन पा रहे. कमेंटेटर्स की तरफ मैं जाऊंगा कि अगर वो बात करें, इसके बाद वी विल गो टू द कंक्लूजन, एंड जिसके लिए हम आलिया साहबा से भी रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि वो अपनी कंक्लूडिंग स्टेटमेंट दें, और समिया we will start with Sana जो already वैसे बात कर चुकी हैं. We again for commentators, any please comment.
I think the topic is very well covered. बात वही आती है कि first of all कि we need to understand, और जो चीज़ मेरे ख्याल में खास तौर पे जैसे सकलैन ने कहा ना, जब तक बेनिफिट आप नहीं दिखाएंगे. एक छोटी सी एग्जांपल है, जो भी इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल करते हैं, और अगर आपने एमिरेट्स एयरलाइन से ट्रैवल किया हुआ है तो एमिरेट्स एयरलाइन का जो क्रू होता है, जो फ्लाइंग क्रू होता है, वो बड़ी आइडियल एग्जांपल होती है डाइवर्सिटी. क्यों? मल्टी लैंग्वेज पीपल, मल्टी कलर्ड पीपल, जेंडर मेल फीमेल. तो अब ये देखिए कि प्रॉब्लम वही है कि हमारे उसमें जब हम कॉस्ट कटिंग पे जाते थे, हम एजान बेस करते थे, तो हमें बेनिफिट बताना पड़ता था. इवन कभी कभी असाइनमेंट लेने पड़ते थे कि कितना बेनिफिट हम जनरेट करके देंगे, उसका परसेंटेज भी दे दें. तो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जब आपको कल्चर को डेवलप करना पड़ता है, चाहे वो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन को और विजन और चीज़ें समझाने के लिए, तो बहुत एक एनालिसिस करना पड़ता है लोगों को कन्विंस करने के लिए. पब्लिक सेक्टर में बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल इसलिए होता है कि उनको फ़ायदा नहीं होता बेनिफिशियरी. बट अगेन पॉइंट ये कि बड़ा अच्छा कवर हो चुका है, तो आई थिंक सो कि इतना अच्छा टॉपिक है, इस पर हम एक दफ़ा फिर बैठ सकते हैं ख्याल में तो सेकेंड स्टेप पे ले जाने के.
हाँ, some other time, definitely. Farhan sir.
I'll just conclude. Yeah, I think COVID is a great time. Change, agility, inclusion of new ideas and thoughts is the need of the day. We should definitely foresee कि हम इस टाइम को भुला नहीं पाएंगे, और आने वाला वक्त शायद इतना बराबर ना हो, तो उस पर नए आइडियाज, नई चीज़ों को इंक्लूड किया जाए, और उस फ्यूचर के हिसाब से इदारों को चेंज किया जाए with their policies, amendment, changes in the work we do, and I think it would be a good time in the future to come.
Fraternity. Thank you. Samia, it's time for your concluding remarks.
One thing at the organizational level, those leaders who are in position of power, they have to make sure that they are saying the same thing and they are rolling it within their organizations, and they're creating an alignment that it's being executed. That's one. And also, if some things are happening for underrepresented groups, there should be a reason given other than keeping it secretive, so that people should not get it. That goes like this is where the role is very, very important to be played. And at the individual level or as a representative of Pakistan, बड़ा ज़रूरी है कि हम जब कहीं ऐसे फोरम पर जाते हैं, हम पाकिस्तान को रिप्रेजेंट करें, हम बताएं कि हमारा कल्चर क्या है, क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा as much as I know और जितने लोगों से मैं interact करती हूँ, the perceptions are sometimes very disappointing how people outside of Pakistan are perceiving us. So the responsibility goes back to us. और पाकिस्तान के अंदर रहकर हमारी क्या जिम्मेदारी है, वो ये है कि अगर हम देखते हैं लेट्स से कोई अंडर रिप्रेजेंटेड ग्रुप है या कोई नहीं बोल सकता या किसी के लिए कोई मुश्किल है, तो हम छोटी छोटी चेंजेस अपने आप से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं बाय मेकिंग श्योर कि हम किसी की हेल्प किस तरह कर सकते हैं, या हम किसी एक्शन को अपनी कैपेसिटी और इन्फ्लुएंस में रहकर स्टॉप कैसे कर सकते हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट. सो दैट्स ऑल आई.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. Muhtaram Alia Sahiba, you started the discussion and enlightened us, and we request you for concluding remarks.
Thank you. बहुत शुक्रिया. I think everybody has sort of contributed so very well. It's a very interesting conversation also. Just to have दो चीज़ें I think अगर हम सब individual level पे याद रखें और अपने actions में करते रहें. Number 1 कि अपने दूसरे लोगों को इंसान की तरह treat करें.
Very right.
You have to be human and you have to be humane towards everyone. So वो whether आपका sweeper है या जो भी है, इंसान है, इंसान की respect करें. Number 1. Number 2, जहाँ पे आपको माइक्रो एग्रेशंस नजर आए अपने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स में, जहाँ पे खवातीन के बारे में, वाइफ्स के बारे में शेयर हो होते हैं जोक्स, जहाँ आपको माइक्रो एग्रेशंस या इनअप्रोप्रिएट कमेंट्स नजर आए फॉर एनी पर्टिकुलर अंडर रिप्रेजेंटेड ग्रुप्स, कॉल इट आउट as a female, as a male, wherever you may be, call it out and let them know this is no longer acceptable. ये ना करें. तो दो चीज़ें अगर हम कर लें जहाँ पे हम हैं, तो बहुत सी चीज़ें हमारी ऑटोमेटिकली बेहतर हो जाती हैं. That's all.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. बहुत अच्छी टिप आपने हमें एंड पे दी है, और इस पे तहिया साहिबा का कहना है कि इट्स अ ह्यूमैनिटेरियन अप्रोच. दैट थैंक यू वेरी मच. इसके साथ ही आई सिंसियरली एंड रियली फ्रॉम द कोर ऑफ माई हार्ट थैंक यू आलिया साहिबा, समिया, Sana, Mr. Khurram, Farhan Sahab and other speakers and participant with us. See you inshallah on some other time on this webinar. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.
बहुत शुक्रिया. God bless you.